And our round 2 opponent is the one down the bottom here. He versed an effect deck with something with blue in it. Something with blue and quicksand. That's the mono blue control deck. Fairly sure, yeah. It's got Cloud of Fairies and the 2/4 flyer with affinity for islands and Pestamite. Yeah, Spire Golem, that's the one. So I haven't played a lot against this deck. I've actually only played against it twice, but I don't think it's too bad of a matchup. I'm not sure who has the edge or if there is any edge, but it's not a dominating edge like Frantic Storm is against our deck, so we stand a good chance here. And we will not mulligan. His hand is fine. Unfortunately, he gets to go first, which is not something we like to see. It means he's going to have his counters up by the time I get to play any of my relevant spells. The suspend guys are pretty big in this matchup. Being able to suspend a guy, they can't counter the suspend, and then when the guy comes in, if they either have to let it in or they counter it because it's a threat, and then you have more free range play spells. You don't have total. You can't just play all your spells that you want because it only takes them 2 mana to counter a spell. But it's a lot easier to get something through if you just have a free spell at the beginning of the turn. And we picked up a Bone Splitter. So here he's got like a million counter spells. He's also got Think Twices. If he wants to use his Quicksand, that's obviously great for me. So if I do nothing, he can just think twice. Which is never good. But I just really don't want to play any of my spells here. I guess I could play Skyfisher, because I don't mind if that gets countered. Although, I think I would rather if he just thought twice. And he didn't even have it. Which is obviously much better to just not play anything. Well, now I'm going to play Bone Splitter. I should not have played that land. See what he does here, and then get my Legionnaire down. If he counters it. Yep. Okay, so I could go for Legionnaire, or I could go for Squadron Hawk now while his counters are down. Actually, I think Hawk is much better because he's got a Quicksand. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hawk. And I won't be attacking. Okay. So I am going to attack. And I kind of want to cycle that step. I'm definitely not playing it, but I think I would rather... Okay, what is he doing here? He's just trading. Okay. Seems to me like that means he doesn't have another Spellstutter Sprite in hand. Because if anyone had a Spellstutter Sprite in hand, they would obviously want to be able to counter 2-mana spells. But yeah, I'm just going to play my worst spells here. Which is just the Squadron Hawks. And if he lets this one through, I just don't play anything else. Okay. And that's great, because now I get to cycle my step. Okay, he Pestamites. So he's going to tap the Hawk so he can attack, I guess. Now he gets his ninja. Alright. Journey. Well, now we got a lot of business. I can play 3 spells this turn. And he can only counter 1. I want to play them all now before he has a chance to tap any of my land. He could have done that during upkeep, but he didn't. But I don't know if he's not going to just change his mind during combat. So I'm going to play my land. I don't mind if he sees that. Who do I want down more? I think I want the Legionnaire down more. If I play a Squadron Hawk, he just doesn't counter it. I'm going to go for this guy first. And then I get to get my Legionnaire and my Skyfisher down. Which I think puts me in a pretty good spot. Now I have pressure on the board and he's actually got to do something about it. I even get to attack because he tapped his quicksand. It's not even like you can tap one of my guys to draw a card, because they can both block ninja just fine. And nothing. Alright. Well, I'm gonna be attacking in the air, both my guys. If he lets me. Yep. And he doesn't want to do anything about that. So I'm going to start with Squadron Hawk. And I'm just going to play the second Squadron Hawk. And if he just wants to counter both of those, he can do that. Alright. So he goes for Pestamite. Well, I think I'm going to cash this guy in. Seems good to me. Prevents him from drawing a card. And he got his Pestamite down. Oh, alright, 2 journeys. I'm gonna attack first. I'm fine with that trade, yeah, that's great. Now I got these useless journeys in my hand, so that's what I'm gonna use to bait out counterspells here. But, I mean, with Rune, Snag, that's 2 for each, right? So, yeah, even if I play Skyfisher, I couldn't get away with that. So I'm just gonna start with this. And, I mean, if he lets it resolve, that doesn't say anything, because it's not that threatening of a spell. If he counters it... Ooh, boomerang. Oh, that's pretty good. If he manages to... I mean, if he counters my Skyfisher, then it's really good. Let's see, who do I want? Probably this guy. But I am still going to go for Skyfisher here. Damn. Yeah, that was really good. He's only got 1 card now. I've got a strands. I am gonna go for journey. And if he counters this, then I just keep my guy back. And now I don't. And I've got a strands, which works pretty good against counter spells. Let's see. Do I want to just play this? He has one card in hand, and it was something he tried to play before when I had 3 mana up, and then decided not to. I think I'm just going to suspend this. Okay. That card is less good than it looks. I've played against it a number of times, and I've played with it a number of times as well. Unless you can repeatedly bounce it, it's not really that nutty. And he has 6'd, so I'm going to assume he doesn't have a counterspell there. Two strands, alright. This turn I'll be attacking for 3. He might have a counter for this. It can't be a, it has to be a hard counter though. Yeah, and it is. So I have a chance to draw. Goes ahead and does that now, and I didn't get there. But I got plenty more time to draw these 2 prismatic strands. He's on top deck mode. Any Skyfisher, and it gives me 2 creatures because I get to, and a journey in hand. What did he just do? Oh yeah, just sacrifice this thing. Okay. He can counter this if he wants. He doesn't want. Or just probably is unable to. And now I'm gonna bash him for 3, which is pretty good in my books. Draws for the turn and concedes. Yeah, that's pretty good. That gets me for the meantime. That doesn't do it. Unfortunately, I can't prevent the damage from it. Also, it wouldn't matter because I don't have enough damage to kill it. Don't have power to kill it. So I'm just gonna play this. And he can be on 1. I think my deck is a little better at dealing that 1 damage when he's in top deck mode than he'll be capable of preventing. Is there any reason why I don't want to go for this now? I don't think there is, because if he hasn't drawn a counter spell, then I get him. If he hasn't drawn a hard counter, then I get him. And I'm not trying to play multiple spells in a turn, because every chance I get to draw a spell, that's a chance he gets to draw a counter spell. And if he counters this, then, well, and he didn't counter it, so end of discussion. I was going to say if he counters this, then that's just the counter spell out of his hand, and I then have a chance to draw another spell. So yeah, I won game 1, and let's go on to game 2. Let's see what kind of cards we have. Again, I think my sideboard is pretty ill set up against this kind of deck, because I mean you can only sideboard against so many decks, and I've played this deck twice the entire time I've been playing Pauper, so I wasn't thinking of it while sideboarding. Suture Priest. His deck. Well, it's definitely. I mean, it's. I'm thinking about it, but I don't think it's. It's quite gonna get there, because his deck is definitely attrition based and trying to get creatures of incremental value down and trying to do a little bit of damage at a time. which Suture Priest is generally good at because it gains you a bit of life back um, from those bits of damages that it's doing, and it also all the creatures that he's playing to try and gain these advantages lose him life. But against this deck, I'm thinking he's not playing so many creatures. Like, he's not actually playing that many creatures to try and get advantage. He's just playing counterspells and playing a small amount of specific creatures. And so because of that, I mean, it might be handy, but I don't think it's better than anything in my deck. So because there's nothing I would want to take out for it. I mean, Prismatic Strands maybe, actually. How good is that? Probably not good at all. If he's beating down and I'm in a racing situation against him, then I mean, he's already in control of the game. So I'm gonna take those out and just do a little bit extra damage with these Suture Priests if I can. More damage than those Prismatic Strands would have done. I mean, they were stuck in my hand last time. Wow. You know, I actually like this hand. Against any other deck, it would be ridiculous. But I actually like this hand, considering how often he's going to be countering my Hawks. It means I can play a turn 2 Legionnaire and get it out there and not have to worry about playing a turn 2 Squadron Hawk to get all the rest of my cards, because then I can just play a turn 3 Squadron Hawk, get it countered, a turn 4 Squadron Hawk, and he's never going to see it coming. So he's going to counter my Squadron Hawk, not wanting me to draw more cards, not knowing it's actually just a 1/1 flyer for 2 that draws a single other 1/1 flyer for 2. Don't I? Oh no, I won. So, never mind. I don't get to play the Legionnaire. I thought I was going first. Instead of playing the Legionnaire, I will just start my Hawk plan as soon as turn 2. Just get the Legionnaire down when I have the chance to do so, depending on how this game plays out. Actually, I wonder if I did that wrong. I wonder if maybe I wanted to play Bone Splitter. It's not clear cut to me, just thinking about it right now, because I can obviously get Bone Splitter out and then suspend this later on and not have to worry about him countering it. But I'm playing Squadron Hawk turn 2. Then if I draw another land, I can play another Squadron Hawk and try and suspend this guy, and that's... I mean, maybe that's good enough. Maybe it's too late, but if it's not too late, which, you know, I'm not too sure that it is too late, then that might have been the better play, just to get the Bone Splitter out there. Yep. He's happy to get that Squadron Hawk, prevent me just from drawing all the others. Well, does he know? I already have drawn all the others. And now they just counterspell bait. At this point, I would rather have the Bone Splitter in play than resolve a Squadron Hawk, so I'm going to play the Hawk first. And he doesn't counter it. Are there any 2-mana spells that make you pay exactly 1? I'm pretty sure there's not. So, I mean, is there a reason not to play Bone Splitter? He could have counter target, like he could have like a negate type effect, but then he can just counter. Bone Splitter is the only thing he's gonna be able to counter anyway, and he probably would have decided those out, to be honest. I'm just gonna play it. Let's see what happens. Learn a bit more about his deck. Next turn, I'm gonna have a Knight and a Squadron Hawk either way, or if he counters the Knight, I'm gonna have a Squadron Hawk and a Suture Priest. He might have let this resolve because he only has one counter and he wants to counter the Knight, because the Knight is better than Squadron Hawk, obviously. And now he's thinking about countering Bone Splitter, but then he's weak to the Knight. That might be what's going on. Bone Splitter resolves, so Alright. Pestamite, tap my guy, attack, ninja me. Then I resolve Knight, and I attempt to resolve Legionnaire. Because Legionnaire can block the... Oh, okay, I don't get ninjured. Serrated arrows. Sure, kill my Scorching Hawks. I'm sure that's good. I mean, even when you think about he's using his serrated arrows to kill 3 of my Scorching Hawks, that looks like a 3-for-1, sure, but it's a Squadron Hawk. It's... Unless the tempo was that big of a deal, which it's really not. This guy's not doing anything very fast, and it's not like he has late game inevitability very much. Last time we went, so we were both top decking, and I still beat him. So the fact that it's not advancing him regarding tempo very much. He's just killing one card. He's killing a Squadron Hawk. The Squadron Hawk got the other Squadron Hawks. And I'm waiting on him to let me do this. He's also now tapped out, which is not irrelevant by any stretch of the imagination, because now I get to resolve my best spell. There's nothing he can do about it. I mean, sure, Arrows is great against Legionnaire. I'll give it that. He's going to prevent me from playing my Legionnaire the entire time, while I'm just playing my Squadron Hawks instead. And then when his Serrated Arrows is done for, I play my Suture Priest and my Legionnaire. And I drew a land, which is pretty good. I'm going to obviously equip the one he can't just kill. I guess drawing a land doesn't do much, because I have to spend that 1 mana, and I'm certainly not going to just not spend that mana. It's a significant amount of damage. Significant enough that I would not play a Squadron Hawk. Of course, once he has the ability to bounce Serrated Arrows, that's when it gets kind of nasty. It is multiple cards for 1, because he has to kill my Squadron Hawks and then prevent me from playing other cards. I mean, here he's got to go for Knight. He can't really do anything else, because otherwise he just keeps being able to carry the Bone Splitter, and it's not good for him. Now I have a blocker for Pestamite in case he draws a ninja. And if he wants to go ahead and arrows my Squadron Hawk on his turn to draw cards with ninja, that's also fine. I then get to get in there. Though keeping in mind if he draws a land. Did he play a land last turn? I don't think he did. He may have. His turn. He plays Island, casts Serrated Arrows. Yeah, he did. So we don't know that he doesn't have lands. Yeah, so he might still have lands. In which case, he plays a land and then just plays Pestamite, tapping the Bone Splitter guy. After bouncing it, tapping it on my turn, after bouncing it with the ninja. And then I'm still not in too bad of a shape there. All he's doing is bouncing my guy. That's 1 turn. Okay. Well, now certainly now that I drew that land, I'm moving this over, because I'd rather he kill the Squadron Hawk. I can bounce this with Skyfisher. Okay. That's also fine. And I want to play my Squadron Hawk here. You know, I kind of also want to. Could just counter it. He hasn't used many of his counters. You know, the Sutra Priest isn't all that amazing, to be honest, so I'm gonna throw that out there. Just gonna counter it. And I think I will go for Hawk here. It resolves, so he's got no more counter spells because there's no reason not to. He could have Exclude. And he gets to think twice. Ooh, a Mulldrifter. That's good. That is pretty good. So now I'm going to make him cack the Squadron Hawk, and then I get to Sky Hunter and Legionnaire. And because he wasn't able to bounce it on his turn after using it, he wasn't able to bounce it at all. But he has another one, which is good. Yeah, multiples can get pretty good. He's still taking 3 this turn, no matter what. Oh, we're taking 6. Sure. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not sure why he tapped his Quicksands. But now that he has many more cards than me, I don't have much presence. I think I'm on the back foot of this game now. Just gives it to me. Alright, well, I'm not attacking with Legionnaire. And I'm not attacking with Squadron Hawk either. He can kill it, but he's gonna do that if I attack anyway, and if he doesn't kill it, I would rather block with it. Okay, you can Pestamite me. Sure. Okay. Think another time. Alright. Skyhunter's decent if it doesn't get countered. See, I got 4 mana, so yeah, just gonna play it. Probably get it countered, which is better than not playing anything. Yep. Okay, pass the turn. I guess the opening hand with Squadron Hawks is not quite good enough against the double serrated arrows. Yep. Gonna do this until he F6s. Obviously, pretending to have Prismatic Strands is not going to stop him from attacking. Boom. Alright. So let's think about what we can do here. All my sideboard guys have 1 power. I mean 1 toughness. So I can't take out any of my 1 toughness guys. Which is a shame. Yeah, not much I can do. Okay. Not sure Standard Bearer would be that much better than Suture Priest. No. I mean, instead of forcing him to use one, I just make him use it by playing a slightly better card. And waiting on him. And the timer has run out, so I don't know what he was doing there. I will go first. I think this is good enough to keep. I mean, yeah, it has the 2 Squadron Hawks, that's not too big of a deal. Again, we can use one to bait out a counter, and I think it's got a pretty good line. I don't have any 1-drop Smith on my card, so I can go step, and then turn 2, resolve a Legionnaire while he only has 1 mana. Turn 3, play a Squadron Hawk and get it countered. I think that's pretty good. Legionnaire is pretty good against him too. He's got Spire Golems and not sure what else he's got to deal with it. Oh, Serrators, of course. That's a 4 mana answer he has to tap out for. I'd much rather play Legionnaire here than Suture Priest. So I'm not sure really how good it is. If he force spikes me, I'm gonna be a little annoyed. Just because, I mean, I know it's a card that some people play, and sometimes it's good. A lot of the times it's not. So I kind of just want lands here. Although if I just keep drawing a steady stream of 2 mana guys, that's not too bad either. Lands is good though. Quicksand, that's something he can draw to answer Legionnaire. Not sure what he's thinking about. If he doesn't know for sure I have another Hawk, then he just counters this. Unless he's got like 1 counter spell. Yep. Ooh, stuck on 2. Not too bad for me. Gonna lead with the worst of the cards in my hand, which is Suture Priest. Him being stuck on lands is a lot more significant than me being stuck on lands, considering he can only counter 1 spell per turn. And he can't even play his really good spells. And now I'm gonna play Squadron Hawk. I miss a bit of damage, but I do want to have the ability to play more spells. Especially since he can only counter 1 spell per turn. And, ooh, that's good. If he declines to counter the first Squadron Hawk, I can just suspend. And if he counters it, I can play Sky Hunter. I lost my train of thought just then. I know I was saying something, but I don't remember what it was, so forgive me. Let's resolve. So I think is the better of what could have happened there. Because now I get to suspend this and I don't have to wait for it later. Gonna run the same line next turn. See if he drew a quicksand. No, he has to discard. We run into a little bit of luck. I mean, I don't think the deck needs luck per se. I think in the testing I've done so far, it's done pretty well for itself against non-combo decks. Against combo decks, it has a fair amount of trouble. It's the worst matchups for it, but it's had a fairly amazing record against non-combo decks. So yeah, I didn't think he would wanna do the same thing, but that time it would have been good. But yeah, getting luck doesn't help. I mean, doesn't hurt. It does help. Helps a lot. Journey and swinging for the win. On to round 3. Yeah, good on you.